guys, it's Joy here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some interview advice for your college admissions. So to begin with, not all colleges require an admissions interview. In fact, most of them don't require it, and it's usually when you get to the more selective schools like the Ivies or certain special programs like music or things like that where they'll ask you to come in for an interview. In my case, I chose to do an interview with the University of Southern California, and I did an on-campus interview, which means I traveled to campus and I had a scheduled time and I went in for an interview. So most of the time, campus interviews will be with someone who works at the school, but most likely it will be with an alumnus or a student that is a upperclassman. So mine was with a senior that was in my program of choice, which is journalism. So my experience was very smooth, it went very well, and it was very conversational. So as I go through this video, that is the main goal, to make your interview as comfortable and conversational as you can. So I'm going to share like 5 main points with you about your interview that I think are a great starting point for going off to have a campus interview. So the first thing is you have to find out if your schools offer interviews, or if they will contact you about interviews, or if they don't at all. So schools that offer interviews usually offer on and off campus. For example, USC offers their on-campus interviews, and you just go on their website and you pick a time if you want to do on campus. Now, off-campus interviews are usually pre-selected dates and pre-selected cities. So they usually visit big cities, and the time slots get booked fast because that's the only time they're going to be in the city and the only time they're going to be doing that interview. So if you see that they're coming to your city, I recommend getting that booked early. Even if you have to cancel later on, at least you know you definitely have a slot. And other times it will be an on-site or chosen place. If you're doing an alumnus interview, they might contact you and say, let's meet at a Starbucks and we can conduct the interview there. So that's the basics of figuring out you have an interview. So next is preparing in the weeks coming. So first of all, if you're gonna go and do an interview with a school, you need to make sure you have your research done. You need to make sure you know all about your program that you're applying to there, and all about the school. And if you know who's going to be interviewing you, maybe research a little bit about them, but not too much, because it's going to be about you. So you're going to need to be looking into yourself. And I will attach a link to interview questions that I think are frequently asked, and I will be posting that on my blog. And so you can look at that and make sure that you can answer all the questions that they might be asking you. So after you've done your research and you think you know what they're going to be asking you and everything, you need to figure out what you're going to wear. So you should dress as though you're going to a job interview. And if you've never had a job interview, then definitely business casual. For guys, definitely dress shirt, nice pants. If you want to wear a suit, that's a plus. There's nothing wrong with wearing a suit. Just make sure you're comfortable. You don't want to make it seem like you're showing out to try to impress them. You should look like that's how you dress up. That's how you present yourself your best. So in my case, I wore a dress with a cardigan, but I wore some funky Converse. I wore like bright pink Converse because that was still my personal style, but it was still kind of dressy. And the last thing I want to point out is like the day of the interview and like what you should do on campus that day. So you would benefit from scheduling a campus tour that day, possibly before your interview. So if you've never visited the school, you can get some facts on the school and just brush up on everything you already know and prepared for the interview. And it would also give you something to talk about during the interview, so they can ask, have you toured campus? And you'd be like, yeah, I just toured with so-and-so and I really like this part, blah, blah, blah. Because basically the interview is them seeing what you know about the school and if you're going to be a fit to the school. So when they ask you questions, make sure you're relating it back to why you fit the school. For example, they would ask me, why do you want to study journalism at USC? There's so many other great schools. So I'd say something along the lines of, Annenberg offers so many opportunities in and outside the classroom, and then put some examples in there that are specific to the school, because generalized statements can apply to anywhere and it doesn't show that you're a fit for that particular place. So that is everything I have to say about interviews. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. If you've interviewed anywhere, please leave tips so people can read them in the comments below, and definitely check out what I'll be linking with the questions, the frequently asked questions. And that's everything, guys. Bye.
Up in the sky, popping champagne, living my life in the fast lane. I won't change by the glamorous. Ooh.